games under that man, Justin Tatum. They're better on the offensive end. They're better on the defensive end. They're better as a unit.
For the JackJumpers, though, unfortunately, though, Andrew Gaze, welcome to you. They had their hearts broken on Wednesday.
Well, they did, and they tasted it earlier on in the season with the McVeigh win at the buzzer against Cairns. This time, they have to deal with the heartbreak of what took place with Chris Smith, whose form's been variable in recent times, but bounced back with 19 points. And why didn't they foul? And if you hear the post-game press conference, you hear Will Magnay and his conversation, and he said it just comes down to attention to detail, talking about players focusing in on timeouts. And if I'm just putting on trying to decipher the code, that means someone didn't do their job and someone didn't foul, because that's what the coach wanted.
Someone also had too many bananas pre-game. Sam Froling, Copes, he's the man now. Under Justin Tatum, it's been very clear that everything goes through Sam Froling.
100%. He's averaging 16 points a game and 8 rebounds. And I think that the last time they played, they went into him the first 5 or 6 plays. He's dynamic now. He goes to the basket, he rebounds, he's dunking on people, he's sharing the ball. It's his team. He's the captain of the team, and they're playing great basketball.
And the numbers stack up as well, Drew. We're about to see some numbers that suggest, since Justin Tatum's taken over from JackJumpers, that he's been a focal point. Things are being run for him, and Sam's relishing the opportunity.
Oh, for sure. And I'm really impressed with the way in which his game has evolved. Even this season, you can see that he's put the work in the off-season, and since the coaching change, the numbers have improved significantly. And I think the shooting percentages, the efficiency, and of course the points per game. But your point about points of emphasis on how they're going to play through Sam Froling is very, very valid, because clearly in on-ball situations, they are really focusing in on him.
So with that in mind, there's Marcus Lee, Will Magnay alongside him. They are going to have to be very, very important tonight, Coach.
Absolutely. Marcus Lee, known to get into foul trouble early. And if you got to bring in Magnay, and if he can stay healthy and play his game, then they have a chance. But you get him in foul trouble, there's nobody can guard Clark and Froling the way they've been playing basketball.
Well, Milton Doyle's the positive for Tasmania in the last couple of games. He's been a little down since he returned back from America. He went home for a family bereavement. It's not the Milton Doyle that we know in the league, but there's his numbers in the last 2 games. Things are starting to look a little better for him.
Yeah, and to me, he's been a lot more proactive on the offensive end. He's been willing to call his number a lot more than we saw in the first part of the season. The shooting efficiency from the three-point line hasn't been there as much over the last couple of games, but the shot attempts, which I think is really important. And it's hard in this team because they don't have as many shot attempts as a lot of other teams because of the style of play they play and the pace of game. But this is where the teammates have to understand who's your go-to guy, and this man on your screen has to be that man.
Couple of minutes away from tip-off. Before we get there, though, let's get courtside for the first time tonight at MyState Bank Arena, and welcome in the one and only Joe Healy. Evening, Joe.
Evening, guys. Great to be here. Now, I have a little bit of news out of the Illawarra Hawks. Gary Clark has been charged with driving under the influence. The club released a statement earlier today detailing the situation. I have been told that he is playing, though, so the news won't impact the game. He's been so influential for the group this season. He's coming off his 4th double-double in their last 6 games. I spoke to a couple of people within the group, and they said it won't be a distraction for them. From a basketball point of view, guys, the Hawks say they are locked in tonight.
Nicely done, Joe. Thank you very much. And not great, obviously, for this to come out on game day, and certainly something that we don't condone. Away from that indiscretion that'll be dealt with by authorities on the court, Gary Clark, another under Justin Tatum, has been found.
Yeah, inexcusable. Can't be doing that, Gary. You're putting lives at risk, and it's poor. But on the floor, he has been really, really good. Strong offensively and finding his way. By his own admission earlier on in the season, he was getting into a lot of foul trouble, trying to figure out how in which he can use his physicality. But it is another one since the coaching change. He looks like a different player. Knocking down the 3 ball, being a bully around the basket. He's a good post-up target and can also operate in that mid-range.
Is he the sort of player, Copes? I mean, free agency is going to come around very quickly, and we don't know what it looks like next season, who's coaching Illawarra and what the structure is, but Is Gary Clark the kind of guy that you would move heaven and earth for to get him back next season?
Well, because he's playing so well with Frawling, that 1-2 punch, and Tatum likes to go inside, he's certainly a guy I'd look at. I mean, if you can find something better, good luck to you. But and even if Illawarra don't look to bring him back, there'll be other teams looking at him because he's playing so well.
Yeah, no, I think he's got to be one of the priorities. We take a look at this starting lineup. Lee gets the start. Robinson is another one more recently. He's starting to become the player which we all thought he would be. And, of course, Tyler Harvey. He is a bucket waiting to happen, but just playing with a little bit more poise than what we saw earlier on in the season. A little less anxious on the offensive end.
Tasmania JackJumpers starting 5, as has been for much of the season. Who wins this game and why?
Well, for me, I think the JackJumpers, they respond well after tough circumstances, and losing that heartbreak game against the Brisbane Bullets, I think that coming back on their home deck, Jordan Crawford is another one that he's been not good. The shooting percentages have been really poor in the last 6 games, and they need a big one out of him.
Absolutely. I think it really depends on if Jordan comes to play. But if Magnay and Lee can stay on the floor, it gives Tasmania a much better chance because, again, we've been talking about it. They're going to put that ball inside, and if those two guys, Frawling and Clark, can go to work, we're going to have a good contest, Jack.
Fascinating matchup, this one. As we mentioned off the top tonight, you've got an Illawarra team full of confidence and full of momentum. And the JackJumpers, well, they're losing all the close ones at the moment.
Well, they are. And, you know, if you look back in their history, the first couple of seasons in the competition, they were really good. But this season, 2-4 in games, I think, within 4 points. So they haven't been as good. But when the competition's so evenly balanced, the breaks of the game, generally they'll even out.
Now, officials tonight, Mitch Hare, Chris Reed and Hugh Starkey. Round 15 in the Hungry Jacks NBL. It's Tasmania and Illawarra off the back of a thriller in New Zealand between Melbourne United and the Breakers. A bit to talk about in that game at some point tonight as well. Goes through Gary Clark, that rattles out. First look of the night.
Straight inside to Gary Clark. He misses a tough one off the glass, but
5-5 on their home floor this year, Tasmania. There's so much about defend the island. They haven't been able to do that this season. There's the opening bucket of the night through Crawford.
Well, that's right. 5-12 on the game against Brisbane. And prior to that, he had some real shockers. 4 of 17 on Christmas Day. And he'd be relieved to see that first one go in.
One Jung Lee is on the board for the Hawks. Season high 15 points last week against South East Melbourne, but everyone was filling up their cup in that game for the Hawks.
And the Hawks have to come down and play smart basketball. Move that ball around, quiet this crowd straight away if they're going to give themselves a chance.
Frawling putting the ball on the floor. Trying to take it at Marcus Lee. Did a good job not to foul, but Frawling was even better.
Just gets to his spot.
Yeah, he's so much better now.
And Marcus Lee is one of the better rim protectors, and he did it well by keeping the contact with the defender. A lot harder to block when he doesn't have that step to rise up and contest the shot.
Crawford got away from Robinson. Great look for Drimmick. Feet set. It goes. 41% on the season. Anthony Drimmick puts the JackJumpers in front.
He's been tough all year long. I mean, you got to go a guy like Crawford, who you get to that rim, you have to protect.
Harvey deep at the other end. He's 31% this season. We are seeing him shoot the ball a lot less, Tyler Harvey.
He's playing smarter basketball, Jack. Not rushing anything. He's not forcing anything. He's getting other guys involved, so.
Doyle upstairs. Catch for Marcus Lee.
Well, they see the value also of Frawling down the other end. That size that Marcus Lee against most of these matchups would have a size advantage down there, down low.
Frawling fouled. Points are good.
He's playing with so much confidence now. He's so smooth now. I mean, every play, he takes his time, he gets to his spot, and he delivers.
And that time with the right hand, just the penetration through the middle. comes back to his left with the shot, reaching foul, goes to the free throw line, and marginally better than what he's been from the free throw line this season. Well, that was nothing but
Cotton.
well, I've been told it's nylon, but yeah, cotton is the way we used to refer to it.
You've been told, have you?
I've been told.
Who told you that?
You know, just some feedback.
Normally pretty direct.
Too many bananas.
Fair idea where it's come from. 3 minutes played at My State Bank Arena. Harvey a little off balance.
You usually see that, Harvey, in a drop situation. He's usually going to pull up, coming off those on balls, tries to snake his way to the basket.
2 of 6 to start the night from the field, the JackJumpers. Newton Doyle whistled for an early foul.
25. And
That is a foul. Can't stick your hand in there.
All 10 losses. There's Scott Roth, the coach of the JackJumpers. All 10 of their losses this season have been by 8 points or less, Tasmania.
And Jack, that is true, but you look at their pace of play, and you know they've had a couple of blowout wins, but most of the time, you know, they're not going to win by a lot, not going to lose by a lot, but a 10-point margin for them is a lot bigger margin than a 10-point margin for some of the other teams because of the pace of play and the way they play.
After Wednesday night, Scott Roth said most of the time we're just beating ourselves. Not taking anything away from the opposition, but making a lot of key errors.
They're always engaged. Judge a lot of the team and their spirit by the bench, how players interact and the body language. And I can't remember a game where I've walked away and thought, geez, the JackJumpers, they haven't really engaged themselves in the contest. You never see that with a JackJumpers team, and it's to their absolute credit.
Will Magnay in for his first minutes of the night. Great baseline, tough finish over the top of Froling.
He does that well.
And he's one of the reasons, I think, Jack McVeigh, for that body language attitude. I think he is the captain of the all-body language team because he goes about it in a way when then things aren't going well. He's still up and about. He's still trying to generate some positivity amongst the group.
I feel like I want to flesh this out, the all-body language team. Hashtag NBL24. Leave us your thoughts on Twitter. I've got a nomination for off the bench that we'll get to a little later on. Lee steps out of bounds.
And this is what the Hawks can afford. They can't afford to start turning the ball over, taking bad shots, because Tasmania come down and they are methodical with the way they run their offense.
Crawford scored the opening bucket of the night. Got rid of his man. Good look goes begging. 3 of 9. Now the JackJumpers. Robinson at the other end gets himself going.
Robinson much improved in the last, well, since Tatum took over. As Lee gets called for the foul.
I understand, but he stopped there and he grabbed him around the waist. I know what you're saying. No problem.
Good communication between the officials and the players.
McVeigh and Clark, one of the key matchups tonight. Good hands by Clark. McVeigh got it back though. Didn't cap it off from underneath. Oh, Harvey, they sat off and he walked that in for an easy bucket.
Those are the ones that get him going. The little nice runner.
When he scores 15 or more this season, Illawarra 6-2.
Oh, get him the ball.
1, 2, hold.
Well,
Lee's second.
get him the ball in the right position.
Of course. He can be very creative on the offensive end sometimes.
There's AJ Johnson, the next start.
Some early minutes.
11 points last week in 15 minutes.
I love his pace. He just pushes that ball up the floor.
They were feasting in that game. Oh, my 40.
Everyone got a lick of the ice cream in that one. Crawford, he's deep on his 3. 4.5 minutes left in the opening quarter. It's the Hawks by 4 at MyState Bank Arena. Looking to make it 7 wins in their last 9 games. It's been an incredible revival. And the new coach, Justin Tatum. There's Clark short. Dribbitt pushes at the other end. Magnay ran the floor. Ooh. Dribbitt could be called for the foul.
Substitution for JackJumpers. Here comes your captain, good style and fabulous coming out.
What are you seeing that's different under Illawarra, you two?
Well,
there are so many numbers that paint a picture, but what is the eye test telling you?
Well, the points per game sticks out, and to me, it's because they're playing at a quick pace, but they're playing the old Jordan Wooden, and the way he described it, you're playing quick, but you're not rushing. I think they were rushing a lot early on in the season, and their efficiency has gone up. And there's another example: get deep into the paint, the offensive board, and so they're a lot more efficient. And when you're a bit more controlled on the offensive end, it gives you a better chance to be in better defensive positions. They were leaking way too many points early on, and I think some of their problems, they've had an improvement in their defense, but some of their problems early on, I think, were caused by their offense.
You know what I see? Attitude. The belief that they can win, because when you haven't won a lot of games and you come out and get a win, whatever the coach has said to you or whatever plays he's put in and is working, you have to go back to it if you're a smart player. And fortunately enough, they did, and they won more games and they won more games. So now Tatum looks like a genius, or he probably is, but the way they're playing, they play with a lot better attitude.
We're starting to see it in Adelaide now, aren't we, with the 36ers? There's genuine buy into what they're doing. And Clark up the top. Big offensive rebound and put back by Blanchfield. It's an 8-point lead to Illawarra. Timeout, Tasmania.
And look at the bench. Offensive rebound, the whole bench jumps up. Everyone's happy for each other, and that's why they're playing such good basketball.
Earlier today, Joe Healy was courtside and had the chance to chat to Illawarra guard Justin Robinson.
Coming off a massive win for you guys, the momentum is really building. What's the approach coming into this one tonight?
Oh, we know we have a tough one. Tassie's had our number the last 2 games, but I mean, I think third time's a charm, and we're going against a tough machine team. So I think it'll be a good test for us and to see where we're at. And we're on a win streak. We're going to keep it going, and I think it's our first win streak of the year like that. So let's see where it goes.
From a personal point of view, how do you see this matchup in the backcourt?
Oh, it's great. They got 2 good point guards, 3 including McDonald. So, I mean, they've all been on a tear. So I think those are 3 good tests for me, and I think it'll show me where I'm at mentally, physically, and emotionally for the game and my preparation. So I'm excited for tonight and ready to see what's to come.
You guys have been first in defensive rating since JT took over. Having been there throughout the season, what's been the biggest difference for you?
I think the focal point. We kind of took it back to preschool and kind of broke it down to our principles and exactly what we're looking for on the defensive end. And we knew if we're good on the defensive end, even if our shots aren't falling, that can carry us over to some wins. So I think we're taking a big pride in that, and I think that's what we've shown so far.
Well, Justin Robinson's got his game going. There's been a lot of players who have got their game going under Justin Tatum. There are some of the numbers that reflect their scoring, the way the ball's moving, the way that they're looking after the ball better under Justin Tatum.
Well, look at the 98.3 points per game in their last 6 games. That, they might have been blown out by the big win they had a little bit, but still, it's impressive, the transformation. And they take care of the ball. Only turn it over 11 times a game, which is equal best in the competition.
Meanwhile, the JackJumpers are looking for a bit of spark.
They can't score.
3 of 15 now.
This is the sort of game they played on Christmas Day against Phoenix. It's got that type of stench about it at the moment.
Crawford, McDonald, Krislovic, Magnay and Steindl on the floor for Tasmania. Robinson, Johnson, Clark, Blanchfield. And Peatling for the Hawks as Crawford steps into the 3. Much needed bucket for the JackJumpers. Joe Healy courtside.
Definitely a much-needed bucket. The crowd really enjoying that one. Just one on the Hawks quickly, guys. They were pretty honest when reflecting on their previous games against the JackJumpers this season. They went down in both and were pretty disappointed. I spoke to Sam Froling before the game. He said their start was atrocious.
Nope.
Oh, there we go.
Just go and get that down, Joe, if you can.
He said their start was atrocious in the last one, but was happy with the fight that they showed in the second half. So we did expect them to come out firing here, and they'll be pretty happy with this first quarter so far.
You sit down, Joe Healy courtside at MyState Bank Arena. It's a Harvey Norman replay.
Well, he shot it with great confidence. It didn't look like a guy that was having problems with his mindset. Just stepped straight into it, let it fly, knocked it down. Much needed.
Clint Steindl, the JackJumpers captain, played 11 minutes on Wednesday against Brisbane. Didn't get a field goal attempt away.
And that's not good enough. The way he shoots the ball.
Magnay, nice work inside. Muscles in on Froling.
So big.
And Froling takes it straight at him at the other end.
Green 22, hit on the shoulder.
Rock would not be happy with that one.
Yeah.
Not at all.
You got your tickets yet, boys, for the no ball tour?
Oh, I'm looking forward to it. We got a little bit of glimpse of it, of what we might hear, because the Bulls are having their Ring of Honour this weekend, and on the social media channels, they've had interviews with Big Luke Longley and Steve Kerr, just reminiscing, and that just whets the appetite to have a sit-down and intimate affair with one of the greatest teams. Was the Chicago Bulls, led by Scottie Pippen. Luke Longley was fantastic.
You shoved him out of it.
The stories they could tell just beyond the game, but also the leadership, and pretty confident that Michael Jordan might get mentioned somewhere in that conversation.
You seem to be very excited about it. Like the last time Scotty was in town, and you couldn't keep your hands off of him over there. So you just seem like you're so excited about this tour. I'm worried that if they gave you tickets or you bought tickets, you put on your own show.
Very touching. NBL.com.au/no ball.
It was mutual, though. That's the thing that got me.
No, it felt very one way.
He gave me the opportunity. He opened up the touchy-feely type approach.
I was up from it. Krislovic in front of the Tasmania bench.
Well, that's a bonus. Krislovic open, knocking down the three ball. Coming in as their four-man now, and these days you need a four-man that can spread the floor.
Robinson from outside.
And now Illawarra have started to shoot the ball from outside. Without
8-2 run since the timeout. Make that 11-2. Krislovic with back-to-back threes.
When he's got his feet set, it all looks pretty good.
You got to get that ball inside. You got to go back to what works for you. Throw that ball inside. Let Froling, or there you go.
Play back through Froling. Good D from Magnay. Didn't foul. One possession back and then very nearly turned it over.
Well, I think he did.
Trying to steal the ball as well. They didn't have the ball, right? No, so it's
going to be a foul on Milton Doyle.
That's his second. And he just walked right onto the bench. He didn't even ask, "I'm not coming out." He just went. They had a seat waiting on him, nice and warm.
White ever get possession of the ball?
No, he doesn't.
Okay,
no, he doesn't.
Still a team control.
So it should be team control. Yeah. So it's not two. Yeah.
White ball, sideline.
No. They had the ball. You guys never got the ball. So it's still their ball.
Green's got team control. You guys never get team control.
Right.
That's a good explanation.
Absolute correct call.
28 seconds left in the quarter. 14 seconds left on the Illawarra shot clock. Trying to take that lead back as we head towards quarter time. Froling inside. Great look for Peatling.
And that's what they got to do. Move that ball around, get it inside out. Rather than coming down, jacking up threes.
Lockie Barker out there to finish off the quarter now too. It's been Krislovic who's been the go-to with this unit. Barker behind the back.
Oh dear.
Big shot late in the quarter. Lockie Barker, that's how you find yourself more court time. And the JackJumpers take a 2-point lead into quarter time. 20-18 in front of a sold-out crowd at MyState Bank Arena. This is Friday Night Hoops.
Righto, so put the piece on, get down there. First one to get the ball in, $150 voucher to spend on JackJumpers merch. Right, so back room, let's get behind these four legends in 3, 2, 1, go! Put the top on, and you can't keep going to the top one. Top on, and then go to the next item.
Incredible job. Now, what are you going to spend your voucher on?
Probably a New Jersey or a jumper.
Perfect. Couldn't get any better than that.
We love that. Thanks so much for your game. Tasmania, well done. Get up the run.
Quarter time, Friday night hoops at My State Bank Arena in Tasmania. Great night for basketball, and it's been a good start to this game. The JackJumpers lead by 2, 20-18. It was the Hawks who had the game on their terms midway through the first quarter, but after the timeout, Lennart Copeland, the JackJumpers got themselves in a much better spot.
100%. Rob called the timeout and said, hey, boys, let's pick it up here. That was a quick quarter, wasn't it? That seemed like it just...
Not a lot of free throws, Copes.
Yeah.
You got somewhere you need to be?
Well, we'll just have to wait and see.
The answer to that is yes.
Jackies didn't take a free throw, and Illawarra 2 of 3.
And Clark's been outstanding in the first quarter. He's rolling with another 2 from underneath. He's got 8 points now. He's the game's leading scorer.
I love the way they work together inside, man. I mean, you guys asked about bringing him back. You got to find a Robin to your Batman.
The best team in the competition for points in the paint, and those sorts of looks are wide. Ooh. Harvey with all the moves and the floater to go with it.
I got goosebumps on that one, bro.
I don't know if there's anyone better in the competition at those mid-range floaters. Maybe gets a foot inside the paint, but that right there is a lot tougher shot than he makes it look.
Joe Healy, you were listening in at quarter time.
I certainly was. Great way to finish the quarter for the JackJumpers. The entire bench was up and about. Lockie Barker still out there as well after nailing that shot on the buzzer. The message from Scott Roth, though, was to continue to push the floor, keep up the pace in transition and crash the boards.
.22 apiece. Just over a minute gone, second quarter. Earlier tonight, it was Melbourne winners 82-81 in New Zealand. Terrific game of basketball. We'll talk more about that later on. 2 high-quality teams going head-to-head.
Tough finish.
2 high-quality teams going head-to-head here.
Tough finish for the Breakers.
Collins fouled. Yeah, Island Cheatham's had to learn something the hard way tonight, unfortunately.
He did.
Well, it was always going to be a bit of a prayer anyway. 3 seconds to go on a free throw. He thought, though, he was still in the United States of America where you can call timeouts from the floor.
That's the way it should be, too.
No.
Come on. Get a timeout. You got the ball, you should be able to call a timeout. Come on here with these baby rules.
Chris Webber sort of stuff, that, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah. College rules, they are. FIBA rules. College rules?
Oh, you can call a timeout on the floor in college as well.
In the NBA.
They didn't have any left, Chris
It's only
Webber.
the United States of America that run with that rule.
What are you saying about basketball in the United States of America? You don't like it?
I love it.
All right, there.
Just saying that the rules are a little different from time to time, and I think that right now with the timeout rules, we have one thing is for sure: they have way too many timeouts in the United States.
Here we go.
Outrageous the amount of timeouts.
He started him now. He's off and away.
Here we go.
This is the international game far better when it comes to the timeout situation, please.
Hawks by 2. Give Drewy another Dilmar just to try and calm him down a little.
Give him another banana.
He's eating them all. Barker.
Not shy.
Parker's jacking.
That time was long, and Illawarra continue to want to try and push the ball early.
Ooh.
Look out.
Clark
Whoa.
goes by McVeigh.
Come on, Clark. That's it. Speaking of USA, that's a USA move right there.
The Hawks have started this second quarter well. McVeigh pick and pop for 3.
A lot of threes in this game, isn't it?
9 of 26 now from the field, Tasmania. 4 of 12 from deep.
Riley Bale's getting some court time as well. Some early minutes for him, which we haven't seen for a while.
Him and AJ Johnson out there together. Drewick thought about it. 3 ball, and he's not been their friend so far tonight, the home team. Shot clock at 7 for McVeigh. With the whistle they're looking for. Copes, here's Gary Clark on the move.
Put him in a cycle.
Sean McDonald just left a little too early. As soon as he saw Sean McDonald, he thought McVeigh had him covered, wasn't quite set. And that's a nice finish around the rim.
Clark reaching in, it's called for the foul.
Now, I'd like to go back to what we were talking about a little bit earlier as well. I had a bit of a think about it. I want to say we've got co-captains of the all-body language team as well. Because Jacob Wiley, I think he's got to be, him and McVeigh, they're co-captains.
Yeah. Hashtag NBL24. The all-body language team. I've got Anzac Rossetto coming off the bench in that team. That is pure hype. Southeast Melbourne. Marcus Lee lost the handle. Harvey up ahead, goes himself.
He got a flat tire. Flat tire when he went, oh no, he's hurt himself.
It's 3-on-1.
Yeah, just, Copes, you know when you ask the question to the leg, sometimes you're in a bad spot. That's what happened to him.
No idea.
It's a nice rolling action. They just execute so well, the JackJumpers.
And Olbrich also out on the floor. Oh, the Hawks youngsters, speaking of that, Johnson tees off. Down to McVeigh. Backing in on the youngster.
Yeah. That is not just because it popped up. That's by design. They see the young fella out here. Have a look at Harvey. Have a look at the ankle. The ankle could be the issue. Oh! Left ankle with the roll. That's why his legs didn't respond when the mind asked the question. The ankle rolled over, Copes.
Well, he should have just passed the ball up the floor, Drew. It's 3-on-1.
He's a meter from the basket.
There's 3-on-1, bros.
Let's go back to earlier tonight. It was the New Zealand Breakers up against Melbourne United in New Plymouth. Really, really good game from start to finish. The fourth quarter in particular. If you want to just fast forward to there, fourth quarter was brilliant, and this was the final, or second final play of the game.
Now look, here's the foul in my view. The foul's there, not in the act of shooting, then he's in the act of shooting. So, in my view, now we're all geniuses when we get to see the replay, but in my view, he shouldn't have been at the line shooting 2.
He made the first, missed the second. There was 4 seconds left. Zylan Cheatham's gone to call a timeout. Look at Modi Mayor in the background. He knew, everyone else knew. The problem was Zylan didn't know.
No.
He had no idea. Troy, I'm telling you, when you come from way over there,
Coach,
across that water, you don't always pick up the rules straight away. Because he's been playing over there for so long.
It's his 21st. Well, I know he sat out a lot, but he was still watching the games. He's seen the games. You're right, and in the heat of the moment, he made a mistake.
Yeah.
So, and but still. It was always going to be tough anyway. With 3 seconds to go, they intentionally missed the free throw. It was probably going to be a prayer, but you just would have loved to have had an opportunity to let it fly. And huge loss for the New Zealand Breakers, who have now dropped a couple.
Well, for Illawarra, I mean, we're at game-by-game stage now, but for Illawarra, that helps them, New Zealand losing tonight.
Oh, everyone.
Sure.
Brisbane, they had their pom-poms on. Illawarra would have had them on. In fact, when you look at how even it is, they're just, the teams that are in the 6th right now are just hoping that everyone else loses down the bottom.
Yeah.
If you spend too long looking at the ladder at the moment, it just gives you headaches. It's just so many different combinations. Even Adelaide aren't out of the hunt just yet. Clark with the left hand. Needs that to drop. Clark now has 6 points. Rolling the leading scorer in the game with 10. Tasmania's leading scorer is still Fabian Krislovic. 6 points to his name. Drimic inside for Magnay. Plays through the contact and scores.
He's just so strong. Strong upper body. He moves well. He's athletic.
That's right. And look here, the touch around the rim. He's a really good athlete. Gee, Lockyer didn't really do a whole lot wrong. Went straight up. Thinking, well, who's causing the contact there, coach?
Just his 12th game of the season. His impact has been profound since his return to this team. Will Magnay. Robinson. He's got an M1 opportunity coming his way.
Remember Simon Dwight? He's a poor man Simon Dwight, sort of. Doesn't block as many shots, but his timing's so good. He's strong, he's big, he moves well.
Yeah, Simon, the landlord, was
special.
He
was special.
Just incredible instinct. One, he had the athleticism, the long arms, but he had the instinct for it. But both these teams are in a drop situation on the on-ball screens, and the roll guy is the one at both ends that's really benefiting with the defensive strategies they're using on the on-balls right now.
Magnay trying to take it at the youngster. Olbrich is found again. So there's the ladder as it stands right now, updated after the Melbourne and New Zealand result.
Live ladder in regards to that would mean that Illawarra are winning, so they've now got the 9 and 9. Like on the ladder, if you looked at it, they're 8 and 9.
Because they're winning right now.
They're winning right. So when we say live ladder, just want to make sure that could change this game.
It's as of this moment, live.
Right.
Like live.
Geez, we've got some toys to play with this year, haven't we? Oh, just extraordinary. This is a part of his game that, similar down the other end of it is with Sam Froling. Bit of an adventure for Will Magnay. Only shoots it at 55%, but knocks those twos down like he knew what he's doing.
It's back to a point the difference. Friday night hoops at MyStat Bank Arena. And such a big night already. Round 15 action. Robinson over the top of Crawford. And it's knocked back out. Clark travels. A little bit of an awkward landing as well.
What's the issue? Was it a bit of contact with the knee? Let's have a look. Comes in.
A little hyperextension there, looks like.
He's going to come and sit down for a little bit. Joe Healy will be all over that one.
Well, he's been a beast on the boards in the first half.
Okay, I've heard you. Okay. That play, there was a trouble before the bump, but yeah, I hear you. Just make sure we don't, you're very close to the line. Here you go.
Third meeting of the season between these two teams. Both games in rounds 3 and round 12. Won by Illawarra. By Tasmania, I should say.
Just hit him on the roll.
Scott Roth not happy in the background.
He hasn't been happy all game.
They shoot the least amount of free throws of anyone in the competition, and there's the advantage of Will Magnate, just protecting the paint down low. Have a look, coming on, and gets that right at the peak. That's some really impressive stuff. And ooh.
He's fouled as well by Albright. So if Magnate, Magnate continues on the form that he is right now.
Yes. I think
with a world event going on later on this year, is he in the frame for the Boomers?
We were having a conversation before, and when I mentioned this, you guys, I think both of you looked at me a little bit cockeyed because you thought, oh, maybe not quite there. No,
I actually wasn't in the room when you had that conversation.
Well, Copes might have looked at me a bit cockeyed. But I said that when you think of the roles that you're needing with the Boomers coming up and where you might see a little bit of a deficiency and where you might need a bit of insurance is in this big man department, and his skill sets of what he brings to the table, the way in which he can do what you just saw, protect the rim, bang against some of those bigger guys that you've got to go up against. And you know, you don't have to stretch your imagination too far to see how that he could compete and be an asset in the international game.
Yeah. Well,
Robinson draws a hard foul from Magnate. He's made him earn it.
Is that his second?
Well, he's renowned for finding himself in foul trouble.
Will be his second. So now 2 fouls for Drimmick, Magnate and Doyle. They're all on the floor right now. Justin Tatum not too happy.
My next play, I'm going straight to Frawling if Magnate's guarding me. Get that ball inside, let him go to work.
Illawarra making a lot of different combinations, using a variety of different looks. But the bench points, 18-4 in favour of the JackJumpers. So the statistical evidence would say that right now that the Hawks getting the most out of their starters, despite them sharing the minutes around a bit.
Last 3 minutes of the first half. Oh, Robinson slips over. Hopefully he looks to be okay. Nice save by Lee. The Hawks get the ball straight back. We'll get the floors cleaned up.
They might not have done a great job because that was right where I think we saw Gary Clark go down a few plays earlier. Just a wet patch. It doesn't take too much of a wet patch to cause all sorts of problems.
It's good news for Gary Clark. Looks to be okay with a little knee tweak from a couple of minutes ago.
All right, make sure we don't go over there.
Hawks by 1.
This is what we need to do here. Get that ball inside.
Magnate's done well to not give away a foul and force a tough shot. Good defensive set from the JackJumpers.
Great defensive set.
Magnate just used his length well, and Frolling's been good at putting it to the deck and getting the defense off balance. That time, Magnate slid his feet, kept him in front and forced him into...
So strong, though. Magnate's so strong,
Yeah.
He kept him in that one position where he couldn't move, so...
Hawks' biggest lead in the game was 8, midway through the first quarter. Doyle misses Magnate.
Well, Doyle's yet to score. He's only had the 2 field goal attempts.
And that's a problem for me. This is your go-to guy. Either he has to go get the ball or someone has to get him the ball. But 2 shots and a half, it's just not good enough.
So how do you make that happen, Coach, if you're the player?
Well,
how did you make it?
Speaking from experience, sometimes you have to fight and go get that ball. You got a guy that handles that ball all the time, won't give it up.
Timeout, Tasmania.
Must not.
3-point lead to Illawarra, and Scott Roth is seeing a few things that he hasn't liked in the last couple of minutes. And here are some interesting numbers. This Xavier Cooks from last season.
This is very interesting.
The MVP of NBL23. Now, when you put Sam Frolling's numbers next to Xavier Cooks,
that's amazing.
They're comparable.
Well, they certainly are.
Yeah.
The difference is the win-loss record, of course, and what
the assist.
Xavier
gets it off the glass and pushes it down the floor. But if you look at every other stat, that's very close, Joey.
No, of course it is, and it's. I think what it does is that it's just a way to further highlight the impact that Sam Frolling's having this season, and you know, it's very hard to compare stats from one team to another because of your role, and sometimes they can have similar numbers, but your impact can be vastly different. So, but
you know what I'm doing? I'm making that a sticker, putting it on my forehead when I walk in there and talk to contract. Just have a look at what's on my forehead.
I don't think they need to do that because I think they'd be acutely aware of how important.
I just want to remind them when I'm after that bag. Listen, bro, you're dealing with MVP material here. I need my money.
Well, it's interesting. We were just talking about Will Magnay in the Boomers calculations. Sam Frolling's been around the squad for a few years.
That's true.
We just got a little snapshot into contract negotiations with Leonard Copeland as well.
Hey, man.
That nice car.
MVP pays bonuses.
Doyle, the boys said, only 2 field goal attempts. It's a tough 3 with a hand in the face.
So that's a 4 shot for me. I think you got to run him a play, Jordy, or you got to try to get it.
That's what I was going to say. When you ask that question to coach, it's more about having a set that you can go to that he becomes the priority. That was just a simple on-ball screen. And it might have been part of their strategy to try and get him going, but just a little bit of misdirection. And there's a good drive by Crawford to get to the cup, but you've got to have a few different sets in your bag when it comes to Milton Doyle.
Easy 2 for Peatley at the other end. That will not please Scott Roth. All of the hard work that Illawarra have had to do to find buckets. Tasmania, I should say, to find buckets. Illawarra with relative ease at the other end. There's 2 for Drimmy. There's 5 points. Will Magnay. He's Tasmania's leading scorer. Not long before halftime. Shot clock at 6. Robinson threw it up there for Froling. That was tough. And Crawford flies up the other end. Nice hustle from Drimmick. Pounces on that loose ball. Bonus possession for the JackJumpers.
That's a charge.
That's his 3rd, too.
That's a charge. And that, to me, there was an element of frustration in what he was doing on that possession because he gets stopped and then it's just a drop the shoulder and bang right into Harvey. And that was an easy ball.
And 0 points at the half for Milton Doyle.
Oh, and he's hasn't had a lot of the ball. He's only had the 3 field goal attempts. 0 of 3.
How much time is it? Oh,
That clock adjusted to 16 seconds for the Hawks.
Plenty of time. Get a good look, get through a set.
Final possession of the opening half. Robinson guarded by McVeigh. Hasn't got a lot of options to work with. Wan Jung Lee's a shooter.
That's a terrible play. What was that? Surely you can get something better than that in 16 seconds.
It's a 1-point lead to the Illawarra Hawks at halftime, 36-35 at MyState Bank Arena. It's a game that has had very little between these two teams in the opening half. There's Milton Doyle, who makes his way off the floor. Pretty disappointed with how things have gone so far. But the Hawks, by and large, should be pretty happy with the way that they've gone about things. And Sam Froling should be very pleased. He's been outstanding, and he's alongside Joe Healy.
He has indeed. Sam, you guys were looking for a much better start tonight. You've done that. You've got the 1-point lead going into the half. How do you assess the first 20?
I mean, it was good, much better start. There's still a few things we need to clean up, some of the defense, and then some of the offensive rebounds. What
would be the message for JT in the locker room?
I think just keep building on what we've done in the first half. Keep that defense up while we hold them to 35. That's pretty good. We won another 35-point half.
Good luck for the rest of it.
He's been in good form, and he's continued that on in the first half. It's the Illawarra Hawks who lead 36-35. Friday night hoops at MyState Bank Arena. This is the Hungry Jacks NBL.
Remember Tasmania, we are humble and we play really, really fair. Now, did you guys make the really long trip down, or are you locals?
Yes, we did. Welcome to Australia, everybody.
Oh, okay. A long trip. Okay, we'll see how they go.
All right, well, they better make it count. Let's get into it. All right, my team come over here. You guys start there. We're going to have yourself versus Susie over there. Susie, you go that way. You start over here, please. Neve, stand on the line. You've got to dribble the ball up, get it in. You've got to come back over, piece from our jump squad. We're playing noughts and crosses. $500 Spirit Chaz voucher up for grabs. Susie, are you ready? Are you ready? 3, 2, 1, let's go! Let's play shoot-tap-toe. Oh, moving pretty well. Bit of heat on that. Come on, Susie. Let's go there. Jump piece. Noughts and crosses. Do you know how to play noughts and crosses? She didn't answer me. Okay, Susie's moving well in there. Neve is going really well. Let's go Neve. 2 to 1. 2 to 1. Here comes Susie. Neve, come on, Neve. Pressure on now. Finish it. Finish it. Oh. We're on. We're declaring a win. Well done to you. Are you ready to go? Leah. It's all over. Leah, get Naka ready.
Oh, Naka reckons I'm not going to explain the rules. Maybe it's just the play. Naka, are you ready to go? All right. Yeah, Naka's going to run. Ball to Naka. You ready?
Naka versus Lita. Let's go.
In 3, 2, 1, let's go.
For a spot in the grand final. Naka's just... We've got one hit from the Lita. We've got that. Naka was on a bit of a Sunday stroll.
That's all right. It's all right.
No. Naka knows the basketball. What's he doing here? He's taking the pin.
It's a tight one on Friday night hoops at the main break. Illawarra leading 36-35 over the Tasmania JackJumpers. Sam Froling, the leading scorer in the game with 10 points. For the Tasmania JackJumpers, 8 points to Will Magnay. At times they've looked good, the Tasmania JackJumpers. At times, probably not to the way that they would like.
Well, certainly not on the offensive end. Both teams would go in and just look at the score and say, hey, if we can hold teams to 36 or if we can hold team to a 35, we're going to be in pretty good shape. How do they free up the offense, get the game moving? Some of it's just making shots. You know, when we look at the stats, 38% for the JackJumpers and 42% for the Illawarra Hawks, which is, in isolation, you're going to go through some periods like that. But some of the shots that they're missing, you normally expect to make, and how you get your key components going. We've spoken already about Milton Doyle. He can't have a half where he only has 3 field goal attempts, and I think that's part of how their offense, the JackJumpers in particular, has looked a little clunky, but give credit to the defences as well. It's a very physical game, and both teams are going at it on the defensive end.
Meanwhile, for Illawarra, Copes, they've been able to get the ball into the hands of Sam Froling, like we spoke about pre-game, and it's working for them.
Absolutely. You go inside to him. The big fella is playing with tremendous confidence. Every time he touches the ball, he's a threat. So when you get it to him in the right position, he's going to put it in the hole. And he's been tough. Look, 10 points, 2 rebounds, 3 for 4. Like Drew said, that's still probably not enough shots for him. He needs to get a couple more shots in, but as you see on the screen, he's a willing passer as well.
We can see in his Blackmore shot chart that he's getting his job done close to the basket. Illawarra doing a very good job of finding. Look at it. Look how simple that Blackmore shot chart is. It's just nice and easy, very easy to understand, and the game plan for Illawarra is very easy to understand as well.
Just not enough greens.
Not enough dots.
Not enough dots. Nothing on there.
They'll come. We're going to have to go. Let's go back to last night. The big story in the league right now is the Sydney Kings, who went down 95-82 against the Adelaide 36ers. They take their record to 10-11. Is it fair to say, from a former coach and former assistant coach of this team, it's not necessarily about the losses, it's the way the losses are happening at the moment?
Yeah, it didn't look good for big chunks of the game last night. And when they had some highlight moments, Clotnoy just getting a thunderous dunk. But full credit to the Adelaide 36ers. They're playing with great spirit. Their energy levels are high. They're playing in front of sold-out crowds. There's a lot of doom and gloom around about the Sydney Kings. They've still got some really good talent. I would not be putting a line through the Sydney Kings just yet. DJ Hogue is a big out. And when he is not playing to his best, it's a big hole they fill. Jalen Adams shot the ball real poorly. He was 1 of 11, I think, or 1 of 10 at the early parts of the game. So they need their main guys up and firing. And it still seems like, even though we're coming to the tail end of the season, it seems like they are still trying to figure out some of their combinations.
Coach, from a player's perspective, when you hear accusations around lack of effort, lack of intent, those sorts of things, do they sting?
They do. And I said this in the beginning of the year. When you lose 5 players, 5 starters, and a coach, it's going to be tough. Now, they started off quite well, so it surprised a lot of us. But this team, there's lack of offense, lack of defense. They just look like they don't care. And as you know and I know, there's pressure in Sydney because they expect them to win.
Well, they do, but like I said, if I'm a Sydney Kings fan, I wouldn't be just getting, too panicky just yet. Sure, there's a level of urgency that needs to click in. I'm not disputing that.
100%.
But when you look at that ladder, you go on a 2-game winning streak and your whole season can turn around. You look like the Brisbane Bullets, 2 games, 3 games ago, it looked like they were done and dusted and they turn it around. So still a long way to go.
They've got New Zealand on Sunday at Kudos Bank Arena. You're going to be there, Andrew Gaze, and that is a massive game. This is a big game as well, and it's the Hawks who lead by 1, 36-35.
Let's see who we got here. This will be good, I reckon, now. This is going to be a ripper. Not bad, not bad.
Oh, I think this is ants. This one will be, I think this might be pretty hard.
An ant. This could be me, you know? Everyone's stuck in cover, I reckon, when they're Thanks to our game day partners here on Hard Rock Tasmania. Fans have been entering the draw to win a $150 voucher. All you had to do was sign up, put your name down in the newsletter, and provide your name outside the arena tonight.
Play off each other a lot, and back in college I've always had a front court mate that just can score at will like Sam does. It's almost like an automatic assist because he knows where I am and I know where he is, and it's just automatic. Like when I see the mismatch, I see everyone else, but I'm like hunting Sam because I know like he has a mismatch, and it's such a physical game down there, so you want to reward myself and Sam. Guards, they get killed on screens a lot, but the battle that's inside is just, it's like no other. So you try to, find your guy when he is down there working, especially when there's games where he doesn't get it early on. So like, it's overemphasized, like, look, man, I see you, just keep working, and vice versa.
That was Gary Clark after last week's win over Southeast Melbourne. He and the partnership with Sam Froling is working very well. That's one thing that is working well for Tasmania, Will Magna.
He has been tough, and he's so strong, staying out of foul trouble, blocking shots. He's strong, he gets the ball, takes it to the rim real hard. So Drew spoke about him being on that Boomers team, and you start to see some of the things you're talking about, Drew. He's so big and so strong, and again, he reminds me of that Simon Dwight type because he focuses.
So there's Milton Doyle's numbers in the first half. 3 fouls, no points, 4 turnovers.
Not good numbers.
Not good for Supercoach fans, I know that.
No, they're well below, particularly how he's been the last couple of games. And we spoke earlier about how sometimes you just got to take matters in your own hands. Now, you want to do that within your structures, but every now and again, go get a rebound, go get it off the glass, take it coast to coast, do what you've got to do to inject yourself in the game. And they run a play early on for him to try and get him going.
There's that partnership, Froling to Clark on cue.
They work so well together. They look for each other, but it's efficient though. They get it inside, and I love the way they play.
Well, 28-12 is points in the paint in favour of the Illawarra Hawks. So they are pounding it in there and having success, and straight away down the other end. They do it in a different way. It's not from the post up, it's more the cutting action that the JackJumpers, and we saw it on show there with Drimmick with the backdoor cut.
Clark from the free throw line. There's 8 points. 4 of 9 from the field. Shooting numbers, it's been a problem for Tasmania. They're 4 of 14 from outside. Illawarra, 0 from 10 from deep in the first half. We can find other ways to score these two. Drimmick on the move. Calls a foul on Frog.
It is, and they've really gone back to their Princeton-type offense in this one. The last few games, it was a bit more ISO, a bit more different, but now they've gone back to their what's called the point series, where they're playing off the elbows and the cutting action that they're using, and it's slowed them down a bit. But to me, when they get into that action and they share the ball around, you just got to make sure that it gets to the right destination, and that destination, more often than not, has got to include Milton Doyle.
Tasmania back in front. Leads him midway through quarter number 2. themselves in the lead early stages in the third. Froling misses from underneath. You could hear the groan as soon as it left his hand.
Those are the ones he usually makes.
Down to McVeigh. He's going to buy one young lead. Drimmick.
We're speaking about Doyle not getting his shots. It would have been a focus for Illawarra to shut him down, because if you shut him down, you give yourself a much better chance of winning this game. I'm sure they would have spoken about that.
Pass from Gary Clark was on the money too. 40-39 at My State Bank Arena. Doyle glides to the basket. He comes up short. Illawarra have got their numbers up ahead. Froling runs the floor and has 14 points.
The big fella getting out on the break. Good hands. Just showing all parts of his athleticism and his game.
Bonus possession for the JackJumpers. Miscommunication from the Hawks. That's quality.
You heard Tatum in the background telling Sam Froling he wanted him to drop. He could see that play happening before it actually happened. Gee, that's easy. Last 6 points of the Hawks have been really easy finishes at the basket.
One end to the other, and then Clark blocks the shot at Crawford. The pace has quickened in a major way to start this third. Lee from the corner. Long rebound falls Tasmania's way. Drimmick walks into a three.
I don't know if that was the right shot. It's wide open, but, you know, slow it down, get a good play.
They're getting up and down. And the Hawks just slowing the tempo down. One, just they want to get a good set too. I think they're a little gassed out there.
This time, Hwan Jung Lee. Another good look rattles out. 0 of 12 now from deep Illawarra. And yet they still lead.
Well, they're an average team from the three-point line across the season, shooting at 33%, which is good for 6th in the competition. But you can have those nights where that rim looks like a thimble from the three-point line.
But you kept jacking, though. I don't care how small it looked, you're going to get them up.
Well, the numbers suggest that it was a pretty good option, Coach.
Goodness me. Sean McDonald back into the game. Relocates to the corner. He can't knock him down.
Neither team.
At the moment, Sean McDonald's got the second best shooting clip in the competition.
We had that 7 out of 8 game, or was it? A couple of games ago.
49% for the season coming into tonight. Teammate Clint Steindl has the best shooting percentage in the comp right now, 50%.
Back up, Sammy.
He wants him in a deep drops.
Of course.
That time maybe a little too deep.
What he's saying is, if Lee has the ball at the three-point line, you don't need to be up and in on him. Just back up and feel that middle.
Will Hickey being injected into this game to try and throw a different look at the JackJumpers. Played 10 minutes last week in their win over Southeast Melbourne. 5 minutes to go in the third term. Oh, now Hickey drives. Unlucky not to be called for a foul. Fouls on the floor.
We've seen one go in. A couple of plays before. Middle on ball, gets to the free throw line. And again, aggressively, lucky not to get it to roll. I think he had already collected the ball. So he's going to be deemed in the act of shooting.
been a contentious one tonight. Don't forget, of course, to miss your chance to be part of the world-famous Harlem Globetrotters. You can jump online or you can scan that QR code, grab your tickets. You won't regret it. Have you heard a coach's vocal as Justin Tatum on the sidelines to his team? Sometimes coaches are vocal to officials and whatnot, but to his own men.
Well, from what I've seen, it's early days. I think that he's shown great respect for the officials by and large. But he's pretty active on the sidelines. All coaches are.
Clark knocks down the three.
Solid looking shot there.
The Hawks looking to make it 9 wins for the season. Draw one step closer to that play-in conversation.
Trouble. Oh, look, it's just an ugly possession. Oh. Lee down low got himself all tangled up. Look at the Harvey Norman replay of the 3-ball. Simple pick and pop. And that's a wide open 3.
Hickey, Lee, Clark, Blanchfield, Peatling out there for Illawarra. McVeigh, McDonald, Doyle, and Steindl for Tasmania. Doyle starting to exert his influence. Upstairs for Marcus Lee.
That's a great pass and a great dunk.
Well, was it? It's just superior athleticism by Lee. The pass was a little high and a little slow, but got a ride off Peatling as well. Check.
Here we go, one shot.
Replay, it looked like it. Marcus Lee might have used Peatling as a stepladder.
To tie it up at 47. And this is the bonus. 53% from the free throw line this season. Marcus Lee, for Tasmania, only 14% of their points for the season come from the free throw line. They're last in the competition in that stat. And Clark at the other end, that'll count.
He's tough.
Well, you see the versatility. The pick and pop knocks down the 3. Gets on the box, just uses his strength to play through the contact. And finds his way to the free throw line.
A double-double in 4 of their last 6 games, Gary Clark.
These guys are just playing with a belief that they can beat anybody. I mean,
Four-point lead to the visitors. McDonald inside for Marcus Lee.
Good pass by Sean McDonald. Not an easy pass, but saw the mismatch and a bit of confusion.
not a bad foul either because of the way what Marcus is doing at the free throw line. So before you let him catch it and dunk it, send him to the line.
And the foul was on Blanchfield, so no great damage to him.
Now he'll come out and knock down 2 in a row. Nothing but, what'd you say, nylon?
No.
This doesn't have the same ring to it, though,
No,
does
it
it?
doesn't.
No. Nothing but nylon. Just doesn't roll off the tongue as well.
Nothing but polyester. No? Oh, dear.
That was nothing but a brick.
Barely hit the rim.
Second one was probably truer to form for the season. Clark trying to isolate on Chris Levick. Foul before that on Steindl.
Yeah, Lee was diving as he should on the weak side. And Clint Steindl just got in his way. High contact.
Doyle sits down. 3 points on 1 of 5. Certainly looked more positive, but hasn't been able to tip that scoreboard over.
Great hustle by Peatling. Didn't give up on the play, attacked the O boards and comes up with another possession for his team. Comes running in from beyond the 3-point line to contest that O boards. Normally this type of game, you're thinking this is in the JackJumpers sweet spot, but what we're seeing from the Illawarra Hawks, this is certainly hard to see anyone having an advantage right now, and clearly it's reflected in the score.
9th in the competition for pace, the Hawks.
Yeah.
So a grind won't bother them in the slightest. Robinson, nice finish. 10 points now for Justin Robinson.
I think they're a bit better than the stats because of, you know, with the changes that they've had and the different styles of play that they're introducing. But yeah, the point is valid that not necessarily out here for a track meet.
Shot clock at 5 for Crawford. Showing all of the tricks. And here, Justin Tatum in the background. He rides every possession. Now Lee over the top of Crawford. Lee got a piece of it, but points will count.
And the help's coming too late. You can see the size advantage. Now, you're going to say, well, there's going to be a size advantage every single time when Jordan Crawford's guarding someone, but that's just too much, always going to be there. Well, that was a lot closer than I thought. It was... Had it reached its peak and was it on the downward flight?
Maybe hit the ring first or something.
Okay.
Biggest lead in the game for Illawarra has been 8. It's currently at 7. Crawford knocks it down. And he's got a knack of coming up with big buckets when they need it.
He can get going. Can't leave him open like that.
They just haven't been able to score. Neither team's really got it going.
Rolling straight through Marcus Lee.
He said, wall up. Farley's so good with that ball from the outside.
It's Lee's turn at the other end. He has to defer back to McDonald. Again, late clock for Tasmania. Wow, clinical.
They're smart. They're smart. They're playing smarter basketball. None of that run it down and pull up for a 3. Except that one.
That wasn't their finest set. And Tasmania to finish off the quarter. Down to 5 for McDonald. And he can't score. It's knocked back out. Steindl. Captain's bucket doesn't go. 6-point lead to the Hawks at 3-quarter time. Does this wonderful streak under Justin Tatum continue? We'll find out on the other side of this on Friday Night Hoops.
With us tonight for the opportunity to win a fair bit of cash is Maddie. Maddie, how are you? Terrified, but excited, but we absolutely love it. $50 for every shot round the key, then $1,000 with Leah for the MyState Bank shot. I reckon we got it tonight. Let's get stuck into it. Two to go. Then over the way real quick. Last one. All right, $1,000.
Let's go. Deep breath. You've got this, girl. Give it up to Nate.
Oh. We're going to
We're generous. Come on, one more shot. Let's go.
Thanks so much, Marcel. Thank you. Marcel, bad for that. I think we got about $50 there. Let's go. Big last quarter.
Been tough and tense all night long, and at three-quarter time, it's the Illawarra Hawks who lead 56-50 over the Tasmania JackJumpers. Sam Froling has been a presence all night. Gary Clark joined him in that third quarter, and Justin Robinson now up to 10 points as well. Hawks are playing good basketball, coach.
Well, they are. It's been a dogfight. You know, I mean, I think that the team that plays the smartest in this fourth quarter gets a win, Drew.
Yeah, it's a grind, and anyone that can catch fire from the perimeter is going to be get an advantage, and there's a player that can do it. That's the Illawarra Hawks, only their second made three-pointer. They're 2 of 17, and the JackJumpers are 5 of 21. So collectively, 7 of 38. That's not good.
No good.
Foul on Mason Peatling. Let's get courtside, Joe Healy.
Yeah, thanks. Just listening in to the JackJumpers at three-quarter time. Very much player-led in that huddle. The guys trying to G each other up, not panicking at this deficit. Scott Roth just said, keep digging in. They've got to be disciplined with their fouls and focus on possession on possession.
Smart. I tell you what, if they think they got a chance or need a chance, and when they got to get Milton Doyle going. Whatever it is, back door, post up, get him an open shot.
Here's that man you're talking about, off to McVeigh. There's another that we need to find some more points for. Only 5 on 2 of 4. 2 of 5 after that attempt, I should say. Some of their primetime players are well down on the big stage of Friday night hoops. Froling scores. That's 18 now.
It is, it's huge. Now, 11-point lead, you normally don't get... Yeah, you still feel like you're very much in touch, but this is... if it makes any sense, a big 11 points based on what we've seen in the game and the way in which the Jackies are having all sorts of problems. Only shooting it before that one at 34%.
And Drew, particularly for a Tasmanian team who have lost the fourth quarter in 7 of their last 8 games.
Yeah, they're faded, and we have a look, just have a look at your screen, and just a push in the back by, was it McVeigh on Peatling?
Crawford, McVeigh, McDonald, Magnay, Doyle out there for Illawarra. For Tasmania, Harvey, Robinson, Johnson, Froling and Peatling for Illawarra. And Mason Peatling.
Good execution.
That's a lovely play. That's a lovely play.
They get it through some hands. They go to a drag screen. They get the separation, and they loosen up the defense and come up with a good scoring option. That's offensive foul in my book. McVeigh just trying to bully his way to the basket, and Peatling does a good job of just holding his ground, slides his feet, good defense there, hands straight up, elbow in the gob, and offensive foul. Good call. Good defense.
Double-digit lead for the Hawks. And you can't add to it. In fact, they've had 3 goes from underneath. Comedy of errors from Illawarra, and then they lose possession.
Well, we'll mark this down, 8:08, because right there they had 3 opportunities for the easiest attempts at the basket you'd want to have, and they weren't able to knock it down.
Crawford left alone. It drops.
It's a 5-point
For
play.
a hometown bounce.
2 you miss out on. Instead of a 12-point lead, you're now back to a really manageable 7.
Froling takes care of the rebound. Harvey, take 2.
This is what you can't get stuck on now. Trying to get Harvey his shots or his points and let him sit there and jack them up.
The formula's obvious. They're 2 of 19 from the three-point line.
63-56. Snooze timeout.
Matt, get the ball inside. That's what's working for you. Can't come out and start jacking up threes now. Yes, inside out, and if he's open, take the 3. But you can't focus on just throwing it up.
They've had their chances, Illawarra. The fact that they're still 7 the difference. If you're a JackJumpers fan, it means that there's hope.
That miss where they had 3 goes at it around the basket, that's the one that could come back to haunt them. Because you get it out to 12, the mindset changes. Instead, you miss it. They come down the other end, knock down the 3 ball. It's back to 7. You cannot underestimate how significant those moments can be in the game. And the JackJumpers very much alive in this one. Now only trailing it by 7.
63-56. There is the live ladder as it stands right now. Just for clarity, Drewy, that's live with Illawarra leading this game.
Yes, and we know that can change. So there could be some changes over the next 7 minutes and 42 seconds in game time.
If they do win, though, and they get to 4th,
wow.
This story is...
Could have written your own ticket 9 games ago on that being the case. But they have... I don't think there's been any question about the talent that they've had. So I guess there's an argument to say, well, we shouldn't be this surprised. But given how poor they were at the start of the season, it is quite remarkable.
They got their man copes in Justin Tatum, Illawarra, for the future.
I think so. I mean, great move by McVay, but I think because of the way the players respond to him, obviously he knows basketball, but the way they responded to him straight away, and if you listen to him interview him, they love what he brings to the table. Why would you go out and bring somebody in that they may not respond to next time, or even though he has a coaching experience? I wouldn't do it myself. Joey?
No, I think that he's going to be able to showcase what he can bring to the table over the remaining games. So he's going to have a long audition for the full-time job.
4-point game. Joe Healy courtside.
Yeah, thanks. I was just listening to the Hawks there. Justin Tatum used that timeout to regroup and try and halt the momentum of the JackJumpers, who definitely have the crowd behind them at the moment. He said, keep talking, especially defensively. And he said he wants the ball in Tyler Harvey's hands down the stretch here.
And there's the Tasmania JackJumpers defense.
Can I repeat? They're 2 of 20. That's travel. Good move by McVay. Read the circumstances perfectly. And just slowly gets his way to the rim. And we've got a 2-point game. 2 of 20 for the Hawks from the 3-point line. They need to get downhill, either off the dribble or get the ball to Froling in the post.
And they've scored the last 8 points of the game, Tasmania. And Harvey very nearly gave it back to them. Time for Froling to get creative.
Oh,
you're kidding me.
Lee puts his hand up.
100%.
He wants the 2.
And Johnson blocks Crawford.
Wow.
It's almost last man standing.
Helter Skelter, slow it down. Get a good shot. There we go. Nice and easy. Smartest team is going to win this game.
Harvey gave up his look. Good for great.
100%. Harvey Norman play here. Froling with the shot, with Lee with the tip.
Wow.
He let everyone know. That was mine.
It was Milton Doyle with the tip, but Lee put his hand up and claimed it. And then in transition, the kick out. Harvey had missed his last couple of 3 balls. So the smart decision to make the extra pass. And all of a sudden, Hawkins fans and coaches and players just give themselves a little bit more breathing space.
We talk a lot about My State Bank Arena and how it's perceived to be a big advantage. Here are the last 3 seasons home win percentage, so just over 50%, which is not horrible, but for a defend the island mantra, it's not an unwinnable place to go and play if you're an opposition team.
No, and that's a little surprising because you think about defend the island and what they're able to do, but and in close games as well, as we see this season, not quite as good as their overall record. So their home record is okay. It's not terrible, but given the success they've had, what it does do, it shows that they also must be good on the road because they've been to a championship series, they've been to a semi-final series, and have an okay, without being spectacular, home record.
I'd love to see how well they played John Cain because they've made some noise at John Cain over the last couple of years.
Well, this year as well, they lost a heartbreaker.
He's a good play out of the timeout for Milton Doyle.
Must get him going.
Still 5.5 minutes left.
Oh.
Almost a miscommunication. Here's One Jung lead. It's good.
When they've needed it, they've been able to come up with some big baskets. Gary Clark, the play before, that time who's a sniper. He can hit it from the perimeter with the best of them, the wide open look.
Back-to-back threes for the Hawks. They'd only made 2 for the night prior to that.
We're gonna live and die by that 3. Tell you what, though.
I didn't see it that way, but if that's what happened, then yeah, I hear.
Just a reminder, you can get your tickets to the No Ball Tour. Scan the QR code on your screen, nbl.com.au/no ball if you're that way inclined.
When is it, Jake?
Well, if you scan the QR code,
Yeah, no,
it'll tell you.
Okay.
February.
Nice.
Hobart, Melbourne, and Sydney.
Beautiful.
Take your pick. You can go to all 3 if you wanted to.
Oh,
dear. Sean McDonald.
this is a both.
Had their issues in fourth quarters that we spoke about a little earlier. 7 of their last 8 have lost in the final period. Robinson high off the glass.
It's almost left the glass, didn't it?
Yeah, they did.
Those points are good.
Well, this is also showing great maturity. The JackJumpers had everything going their way. They cut it to 2, and they've been able to hold their nerve, the Illawarra Hawks.
This is a 10-2 run for the Hawks right now. Great D from Froling.
And what a job they've done on Milton Doyle.
Yeah, they're making a conscious effort to just shut him down.
Now, he's got the 5 assists and 5 boards, but he's got the 2 of 7 from the field and the 5 points.
McDonald. Late whistle. Froling's third.
You're going to challenge it. Ooh. Gee,
This is interesting.
said with great confidence. 2. Oh, I don't think he's confident now. I think he's just received some advice that there might have been a hit to the head. Gets in to the paint, nice and deep. No, that's a foul.
Tell him. Tell you what, these players today, when they start twirling them fingers, let me tell you something. You make me waste my time out, practice is going to be hell to pay tomorrow. I'm telling you now. So
Yeah,
slow it down.
that's one of the easiest calls official would have to make, right across the arm.
Foul, yeah.
And should be the quickest review in the history of reviews.
The coach's challenge is unsuccessful. The foul will stand. You have 2 shots.
The Solstice Jump Squad.
Just missed a couple of free throws, but it's getting to the point where these are big free throws. Trying to just keep in touch, put some scoreboard pressure on Illawarra.
10 of 17 for the night from the free throw line, Tasmania.
And you see Tassie coming out of that timeout, they just don't look the same. I mean, everyone's walking with their head down. Generally, there's a bit of fire. The crowd's into it.
Thank you.
They've lost some close games at home, and they may be worried, Drew.
Oh, it's 3 in a row. Sean McDonald from the free throw line. Only shot it at 39% in total from the field. And the free throws now, big issue, 10 of 18. Make that 11 of 19. That's below par.
Still Milton Doyle with only 5 points. Tasmania only have 2 players in double figures. Offensive rebound for Froley. Comes at a good time too. And you can't score. 4.5 minutes left at MyState Bank Arena. McDonald left it behind. And Clark up ahead, challenged by Magnate.
Good attack on the rim by Clark and almost got there. Magnate knew that he was going to run the risk of being posterised, and good fair play. Nothing untoward, just 2 guys, big bodies, aggressively going after it. You can see the urgency of this stage of the game.
Froling comes out, you'd imagine, for a quick breather.
It better be quick. I'm calling timeout. You need a rest, big fella. You need some water. Let me get you back in here.
18 and 5. This is Sam Froling's night. Gary Clark, though, has had a monster. That's 18 points, 12 rebounds, and a couple of assists. Plus 17.
That's solid. That is solid.
Hawks by 11. JackJumpers have been searching all night for a spark. And the concern is whether they run out of time. Crawford lays it up. He's their leading scorer with 15 points. Maybe he's the man for them tonight.
What it is that they need stops. And they need to tidy up some work in this last 4 minutes on the glass. Oh, Hawks have dominated that area. They 44 to 34. That helps.
McDonald straight back down to McVeigh. Magnay, shot clock at 8. Over the top of Clark. Doesn't go. And a missed opportunity.
Illawarra have to slow it down, make sure they get a good shot every time down the floor.
The clock's their friend right now, so nothing cheap isn't coming early, and that's cheap. That's cheap and easy.
They strut a little bit with confidence now. When you've won 6 out of 8, and you're up 10 in Tasmania.
We've spoken a lot about players that have lifted since the change in coach. Sam Froling, Gary Clark in particular we've highlighted, but Justin Robinson now has 14 points for the night. Was 7 of 11 last weekend against Southeast Melbourne. All of a sudden, he looks like he's starting to find his spot.
Absolutely. He's, if you look at his total numbers on the season, around about 12 a game, and the shooting percentages aren't great, but if you just took the last 8 games, that'd be impressive. And his impact on the game, the way in which he's controlling the team, distributing the ball, it's everything they thought they were going to get from a high-quality player. And had that injury he had to deal with last season, kept him out the entire season.
And that's what's coming up tomorrow. Copes, you'll be on the call for that one, the Taipans. And now, all of a sudden, the Adelaide 36ers who are back in business. Should be very interesting, that one.
These teams are starting to make some noise, Jack. I'm excited about the NBL.
And the Perth Wildcats and the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix. Drew will be on for that one. The open air game in Perth, fingers crossed.
Well, 41 degrees and perhaps a bit of rain, so a combination of the heat and the rain. They may just have to be a late call, but hopefully we saw a spectacular game and atmosphere when it was at John Cain Arena, the open air game.
One, hit.
Tasmania are going to walk to the other end and shoot free throws.
I don't know about that one. Let me have a look at that. What?
Well, on that angle, didn't look like a lot of contact. The call was that he'd actually come across the arm.
Oh. They lost their coach's challenge. Unfortunately, Illawarra.
Would have been their ball to come off Sean McDonald's knee.
It looked like he just reached and slapped the ball off his leg. That's what it looked like, but who knows?
He's had a terrible night from the free throw line.
12 of 21 as a team. Sean McDonald, 2 of 6 from the free throw line. The last 3 minutes of Friday Night Hoops. The Hawks have been in control for much of the night. Right now, it's theirs to lose. Lee inside for Clark.
They are just...
They teased him with a loose ball. There was a poor pass and teased him. They thought they might have been able to get the interception, weren't able to do it, and ended up coming up with an easy one.
But they don't have this time to sit around and play with that ball. You got to get it up.
And they need quick baskets.
And they need stops.
Yeah, a couple of stops and or even steals would be helpful.
On the other hand, Illawarra needs to try to make sure they get a good shot every time.
Robinson trying to get past Magnay. Clark got Doyle up in the air. That doesn't drop. Illawarra dodge a bullet. Tasmania, I should say, dodge a bullet. What a pass, Crawford for McVeigh.
Well, that last possession, although they missed the shot, they used up they got the shot off with about 0.2 of a second. So they used the clock well.
Scored the last 2 buckets, Tasmania. They are not out of it yet. In front of a sold-out crowd at My State Bank Arena. Robinson on the move, denied by Magnay. Doyle at the other end. That needed to go and it didn't.
Be smart, they got to be smart.
Oh my goodness.
What are you doing?
JackJumpers get the ball back. McDonald takes the foul from Clark and he'll be on the free throw line. Gut check moment for Sean McDonald.
Yeah, Todd Blanchard would like to have that possession back. It was not a whole lot of pressure, just bad decision and a bad pass. Have a look at the replay. Here it is there. Now he was probably a little concerned about the double team, but he's got to be stronger than that. And on the other floor, at the end of the floor, Sean McDonald gets to the free throw line where it hasn't been happy hunting. There's a bit going through Sean McDonald's head right now.
Oh, yes, sir.
What about the confidence Scott Roth has with Sean McDonald? I can't think of too many games that have been close down the stretch where he hasn't been on the floor. He has great faith that he's going to make good decisions. Just can't make free throws.
3 of 8. 7-point deficit for Tasmania with 1:19 left in this one. The Hawks beat the press. Clark wants to take it himself. That might very well be a game-winning margin now. McDonald, pass for a wide-open Jack McVeigh. 7 the difference. Illawarra making this look hard.
Yeah, they're just trying to nurse this result home.
And that's the worst thing you can do. You got to play.
You can, and it's a fine line, isn't it? Because the last position, although they made it, was in the first 6 seconds of the offense or thereabouts. And find that balance, be able to use the clock, but still put you in a position where in that last 6 seconds of the shot clock, not the first 6 seconds, the last 6 seconds, you still got a play on the rim that you can go to.
One clean possession here should be enough for Illawarra. The double comes for Harvey. Robinson to ice it. He can't score. And Clark has been a handful for them all night.
He's been a beast on the boards.
Oh, my word, he has.
13 rebounds.
23 points to go along with those 13 boards. But as a team, they've dominated 50 to 37 on the glass.
There he is, his plus minus. He's a long way better than everyone else's tonight. And play back through him once more. And he stepped to the line to finish this one off.
Last-ditch effort for us to get some burgers here.
The Cinderella story continues for the Illawarra Hawks.
I just think it's amazing.
It's a great story.
Where they were, same players, same uniforms, nothing's changed. But to have these guys playing with this kind of confidence is amazing.
You won't see them in action again until Sunday. They'll be travelling to Brisbane to play the Bullets. Confidence will remain sky high for the Hawks. Meanwhile, for Tasmania, they've got the rest of the weekend to stew over this one. They host Melbourne next Friday night. A couple of late consolation threes. Eventually, Jordan Crawford.
Well, stranger things have happened. It's unlikely, but that three ball just gives them the door is not completely shut.
Just can't turn the ball over and make sure. Ooh, he grabbed his.
Oh, dear. Crawford stole it away. McVeigh!
Outrageous.
Extraordinary stuff.
Oh.
2-point game. They've come from 12 down. And they foul Robinson.
Still hit him, 20. Hit.
What a turnaround. 6 points in the space of seconds. Have a look here. There's the Crawford buck. Just slowly gets the
Crawford grabs the jersey.
roll. Now, there was a foul there by Crawford, and McVeigh knocks it in. And even on that inbounds pass, they got it into Froling. There might have been a shuffling of the feet.
But if
to make it a 4-point game. Robinson holds up his end of the bargain. Timeout Tasmania. They need a bucket, and they need it quick.
This will wake you up right here, Jack.
Well, that is true, but you still got enough time. I think you're drawing up a play here that has an option for the three ball, but you're not going to discount the really quick two, and you play the free throw game. So the most important thing is to score, and a three is the preferred option.
Joey, now, you coach a little bit in the NBL. Have you ever had your assistant coach draw up the plays?
No, but I can understand it.
Talk about it.
I can understand it because you've got a coach that has been given the role. When we are in situations, as a head coach, I've got too many things to worry about. I want to give you go away, draw up the plans. Now, I'm sure Scott Roth knows the play they're going to draw up, but with all the things you've got going through your head, it's one less thing under those moments. It'd be a play that he would be endorsing. It'd be a play in which he may have constructed, but he's just handing it over for the drawing it up and the execution. So
we've seen that a couple of times of late. Jack Fleming stepping in.
He's been busy.
to
A
work
lot of
them
close
through.
games.
They're in another tight one, the JackJumpers. They're up against it. Doyle from deep. 1-point game.
My goodness. Oh, my goodness. Neither team could throw it in the ocean for the vast majority of the game. And all of a sudden, the JackJumpers, when all seemed bleak, perhaps the pressure is off.
Is that 3 threes in a matter
That's
of
4, I believe, in the last minute or so.
Here it is. It was far from perfect. But Milton Doyle, their #1 man, it hasn't been his night. That was his moment.
Oh, 4 before that one. And stepped up as if it was no problems at all.
Now, what does Illawarra need to do here? They got 13.5 seconds on there.
Well, they'll advance it, and then they know that there's going to be pressure. So right now there's pressure, and then do you want to try and double team early? You've still got time. Try and get a double team in the steal in the first 3 or 4 seconds on that first catch. And then if it's the next pass, then you're going to foul to put them to the line.
The never say die attitude of the JackJumpers on full show late in this game. They were down by 12, and it looked as if we were headed for junk time in the last 3 or 4 minutes.
It was a bucket away from that, I reckon.
And you go back to, it was around that stage, the 3 misses in a row from under the basket. 8:08 left. It was a little earlier in the quarter, but you said time code that, Drew.
Time code it because you make that basket, it goes out to 12, and the very next play, within 6 seconds, they come down and hit a 3, and it gets to 7, and it's been a tussle. Even with a minute to go, though, 8 down.
Illawarra just have to be careful here.
Getting it inbound, the first.
Crowder on their feet. Hawks inbound. Harvey in possession, trapped. He's fouled.
I'm not sure they were actually looking for the foul there, Jack.
He just happens to be the #1 free throw shooter in the competition this season, Tyler Harvey.
But it's still going to give him a chance to go down the other end and tie it up. So this is a little bit more pressure than you normally have because you need to make the 2 to create the worst case scenario is we're going in overtime. No timeouts either, so they can't call a timeout and advance it. Oh my.
Only just.
Pressure, bust pipes.
90% free throw shooter for the season. 3 sends it to overtime. They haven't had much luck in the close ones this season. Doyle knocked down the last 3. Good look. Oh! Milton Doyle was running through his veins.
Here we go.
Ties it up at 86. What a fourth quarter we are seeing.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Well, this is as wild as I can remember. They're checking the clock to see if there's any time left.
Unbelievable. From where they were, the JackJumpers are looking at 5 extra minutes. 3 seconds for Harvey.
Anybody's gonna make it.
He beat the trap. He got the shot away, and it wasn't far off. We are headed to overtime at My State Bank Arena. What a turnaround in this game.
Well, we're a little premature with our ladder predictions and everything that was going on with a minute to go. But look at the smile on Scott Roth. I don't even think he can believe it. It just shows the grit and determination and also the ability to knock down shots when you need them most. He was 0-4 before the last 12 seconds. He hits one prior to this, and then coming off the on-ball, reasonably contested, and he knocks it down with nothing but polyester. Ah, beautiful.
Wow.
That woke you up, didn't it?
Well, it's a change, and this is right in the the advantage right now goes back to the JackJumpers. At home, momentum going all their way. And this is going to take or be a real test for the Illawarra Hawks. What a turnaround. In a game that, honestly, the three-point shooting was putrid. And then in the last 5 minutes, it all just turned around. And
this is all in the last quarter.
The three-pointers, and sometimes you just, when all seems lost, there's a bit of less pressure on you, you're a bit looser, you just start throwing them up and normal actions kick in and you don't think about it as much, and that seems to be what happened with the Jackies. That's the one.
Nothing but no.
Oh, gee. Well, it's not always the prettiest, but the Jackies don't seem to fail when it comes to tight finishes.
What's going through the mind of Illawarra now, Copes? They had this game on a silver platter. They were looking forward to Sunday in their own minds.
Well, they're in shock. They're in shock right now. But what they need to do, though, is regroup and get that ball inside.
And you know what? The Illawarra Hawks, and in his mind, what do you do in those last minutes? 4 seconds to go, foul. Put him to the free throw line. Don't give him the chance to make the three.
So here we go for overtime. Can't believe we're saying that. Look, Doyle now, his confidence is sky high, but that first possession's a turnover. Crawford picks up his third. Joe Healy courtside, it's going nuts.
It is indeed. The JackJumpers are absolutely pumped. This entire arena still cannot believe what just happened. And the smile on Scott Roth's face in that huddle absolutely said it all. Their focus right now, they've just got to keep the momentum. He said that they are winning the defensive competition here. They've got to stick to the 1%ers.
Well, they had, again, the situation, do you foul or not to foul? And it only happened a couple of days ago when the shoe was on the other foot.
This is wild. Harvey back for Froling. Good possession for Illawarra.
And that's what they need to do. Go back to what worked for them. Go back to what got them this big lead.
Led by 12 midway through the fourth quarter. And here we are in overtime.
What?
Foul will be on Jack McVeigh. That's his fourth. Two teams that, as we saw on the Mitsubishi Motors ladder, are right next to each other, particularly if Illawarra can win this and square their season off at 9-9. Wins are an absolute premium right now. Clark swings to Huan Jung Lee. He's 1 of 8 from outside tonight. Doyle finds the roller, Magnay.
Beautiful pass.
It was a little high, but he just had to guide it in rather than stuff it in. And Will Magnay made that tough pass look pretty easy. Oh, dear.
We had a few of those in the last quarter. Looked like hard work, the Hawks. Here's Harvey. Once again, they play through Froling, and it pays dividends.
Go. Why do I keep repeating myself, Drew?
We've got some good reward from that action with Froling.
22 points for Sam Froling. Robinson and Magnay get caught up.
Heavier than the first one that you guys had the normal foul. I think we should send this one to review. I think this is...
Replay center.
It was on Harvey. It was Harvey that went in there. I don't know whether... I don't think it was intentional by any stretch. I think he was just blindsided, but you heard the official, so they're going to review it to see if it warrants an upgrade. And that first look, I'm not so sure. Here we go, he's there.
Would you class it as excessive contact?
Gee, you're just trying to fight over the top of the screen. I don't... You catch someone in an awkward spot, but I don't think that, to me, that's upgradable.
One, push, green ball.
Normal foul?
Yeah, I think that's the right call.
Two-point game in overtime. We had a one-point thriller earlier tonight in New Zealand. This league is just throwing up all sorts of wild finishes. Doyle, the fourth quarter hero for Tasmania, isolates lead. Justin Robinson calls for calm. Still completely cold in the last 4 or 5 minutes. McVeigh has whistled for another one, and that'll be his night done.
Just the desperation of trying to get through those screens. Here it is. Lee sets the screen. Ooh. Element of perhaps exaggerating the contact. But they're now in the bonus. So unlike FIBA rules, it's a little different here in that you get the two, I think you get the 2 fouls in the extra time, whereas in FIBA you just carry your fouls over from what it is at the end of the regulation.
86% free throw shooter on the season. There's the South Korean Hwang Jung Lee. Three-point lead with one free throw to come. Lead in a game like this of 4. It's significant. Harvey reaching in. He's whistled up. Who's momentum with Copes?
Hard to say right now, isn't it?
Clearly, you'd rather be in Illawarra's position with the 4-point lead, and gee, but this would be, if they were able to overcome this, again, another just a feather in their cap as far as what they're doing, because although momentum was against them at the end of regulation, they had, when you go from a situation where you, in your own head, you think the game's won. We've got this, yeah, we're going to be in the locker room celebrating, to have to come and play an extra 5. Now, do not write the JackJumpers off, but it's a nice position that the Illawarra Hawks find themselves in again.
Blanchfield back in for Lee. Trying to chase around Milton Doyle. Just glides. Never in a rush, Milton Doyle.
He's so smooth.
They get Blanchfield out. Lee comes back in now that they've tidied up the blood issue. Haven't been great at all. 14 of 24, the JackJumpers. They do look back on that one and feel like they've left a little bit on the table.
2.5 minutes remaining in overtime. Nothing between these two.
Sam Froling needs to get a touch here, or put him in an on-ball situation where he's been really good diving.
Clark doubled up. They get it out of his hands. Harvey off balance.
Shit.
That is not what they were looking for.
That is not what they need.
They've had so much success either getting into rolling down low, which we're talking about, or even in the on-ball situation. That middle on-ball where when he's rolling to the basket has been, or even on the 45, the sideline on-ball has been really good for Froling. He's got the 22 points, 9 of 15 from the field.
Just judging from the way that he punched me in the arm, I'm pretty sure Leonard Copeland didn't approve of that one.
Well, that's the Harvey that played in the first 7 rounds.
Doyle for the lead. Milton Doyle has been enormous down the stretch.
He's got that eye now. So whoever's guarding him, either have to keep the ball out of his hand.
Tasmania have not led since the early stages of the third quarter. Froling with the mismatch on McDonald. Shot clock might beat him, it does.
Well, we got to where we all thought it should be going. It just took too long to get there.
The ball in the hands of the right man. This time steps back. Milton Doyle, this is a clinic.
Can I say that he's on fire?
You certainly can, and you can say this is clutch. This guy copes when you're not having a great game. You think the world's against you, but when your team needs you the most, Milton Doyle has stepped up with some extraordinary three-point shooting in the last 3 minutes of regulation, and now in OT.
All 4 or 5 of them are on lead, though. I got to put somebody else on him. I got to make him, I got to send him to the free throw line, or I got to double team him. I got to make somebody else beat me now.
All of a sudden, he's up to 19 points. He's 4 of 9 from outside. His Blackmore's shot chart had nothing on it at halftime.
Nothing. 4 of 9.
But he was 0 of 4 before he got himself going. And prior to that, not just his shooting, it just the way in which he was trying to get himself involved in the game. Everything was poor for him, and to be able to switch from having a game like that speaks volume for the confidence that Milton Doyle has in himself, and also the confidence his teammates have in him. Got a bit of swagger about him. This is Leroy Loggins-esque with what we're seeing from Milton Doyle.
Tasmania by 4. Fans on their feet at My State Bank Arena. About 20 minutes ago, they were contemplating an early exit.
I'm sure some left early.
Well, shame on you if you have, because you've missed.
Well, they're on an 8-0 run, 4 points down a minute or so ago, and now they're in the driver's seat with the game in their hands.
I just don't understand it, though. I know you got to feed your man, but
the score here, and they might be hard to beat. Doyle hedged in on the corner. Here's McDonald. Tip back out to Doyle. Not that time.
Didn't mean to shoot it.
The Hawks live to fight another day. Lee's left open. Fouled while shooting the 3.
Oh my, not smart. Not smart at all.
And One Jung Lee will walk to the stripe to shoot 3.
Scott Roth, you can tell by his body language, is disgusted with that foul. And they send a really good free throw shooter to the free throw line.
The first of a 3-year deal with the Hawks. We're going to be seeing him for a long time to come. The drama builds. A deep breath.
Unheard of.
Wow. Late burgers for JackJumpers fans. Imagine that. A win and a burger.
You might as well feed them after a performance like this. Hungry Jacks.
3-point game. Time is their friend. They need to be clean. A steal.
I can't believe this.
And that'll be 5 on Doyle as well.
Just didn't, it was the turnover. The turnovers we've seen by both these teams in clutch situations, giving their opponent
Just double
every
checking. Do you have any, can you see if anyone's in front? That's the only
I don't see
opportunity.
if there's anyone in front. The contact, all I can add is...
There are people front. Thank you. Okay, you signal it, you got it?
Screen
25.
He's beside himself.
Have a look, here's the turnover. It's really, at that stage of the game, gee, Milton Doyle did him a lot.
He pushed him.
Doyle's night's done. And if they get over the line, Tasmania, it will be because of that man. Justin Robinson. There's 4,500 Tasmanians doing their very best to put him off. It works. And now all of a sudden it's Illawarra who are leaving free throws out there.
There's certainly some...
The Hawks hunting a steal.
Don't need to foul.
JackJumpers have beat the trap, and eventually they fouled Krislovic. He was a 50% free throw shooter on the season.
That's not a bad.
It's not. It's actually a good foul, but it was one Krislovic. He had Will Magnay there. He two-on-one situation. I just think he felt a little nervous about making that pass.
I would have been nervous too if he had to make that pass, Drew. You kidding me?
In his 150th game earlier this season, Fabian Krislovic. He's been
not a good free throw shooter.
Tasmania fabric since day one.
Only a 50% free throw shooter on the season.
And the plot thickens.
I'm over here sweating, Jack.
He makes it 3 the difference.
Okay, you don't necessarily need a 3, but you certainly need a quick basket.
Shooters all over the floor for Illawarra. Harvey, Lee, Robinson, Clark, Blanchfield. A 3 to send it to the second period of overtime. Down to 10 seconds. Harvey turns the corner, finds a path to the basket and lays it up.
They've got a timeout, the JackJumpers, and yep, they decide to take it to advance the ball.
And they take the bucket. And now it's their turn at the defensive end. A reminder, 12 points up. Midway through the fourth quarter, Illawarra. The JackJumpers on the back of Milton Doyle heroics find themselves leading by 1 with 6 seconds left in overtime.
Yeah, no doubt, take nothing away from Milton Doyle, but I think when the Illawarra Hawks go back and do their game review and look at that last 2 minutes, and they will be having some sleepless nights because they were up by 8, weren't able to close it out. So we take a look at the ladder and how quickly it changes for the Illawarra Hawks. They would have been all the way up to 4th. Instead of loss here, dropping back down to 7, which, you know, if you're Brisbane and Phoenix, you're probably keen to see this result.
Particularly after New Zealand went under earlier tonight.
Absolutely.
This whole competition is wide open. And there's a result here to be decided in Tasmania with the home team up by 1.
I had anyone, I'm going to foul Magne, I think, or...
Now inbound to Steindl, who has not, from a very small sample size, but has not missed a free throw this season.
Bang. Just like that.
Well, has he had a shot for the game? What is he, 0 for 1 for the game?
No, he hasn't had too much action. He's 0 for 3.
Yep.
All of those coming from the three-point line. Yet to have a free throw attempt. Still plenty of time left, 5.9. The Hawks do not have a timeout left, so they're going to have to go the length of the court. And if you're up by 3, do you do what I think Illawarra should have done, and that is foul. Put him to the line. Let it get, maybe eat off 2 seconds, and
Steindl holds his nerve in a pressure situation. One last chance for the Hawks to send it to overtime.
And he fouled.
Harvey's fouled.
He fouled him.
Tyler Harvey's been fouled.
No.
oh my goodness!
What is going on in this game?
I can't explain it. Jordan Crawford doesn't think there was any contact. And I would have been thinking, right there's where you foul. Foul in the backcourt, maybe he was trying. He didn't touch him. I don't think he touched him.
Yeah, he got him, I think.
Did he get him?
Right there, on the push.
Did he push him? The 2 hands, maybe? Gee.
Right there. Got
Did
him.
he? Looks like he stopped.
He went airborne.
Maybe. Oh my goodness.
These are going to be 3 of the toughest free throws you've ever seen in your life.
Well, you said it. You, of all the players in this team you want on the line, he'd be the one you'd want. That one just snuck in.
But at least you can breathe after that one. Because let me tell you something.
That was a nervous, flat dart that he threw at the hoop.
You're talking about tight.
There's 2.
That was pure. He's 90% free throw shooter. But let me tell you, this is different in these circumstances right here.
This is the one. He makes all 3.
We're going to double OT.
Drimmick to throw up a prayer. We are going to a second period of overtime.
Wow.
What an incredible night this has been already.
Well, the Illawarra Hawks did everything they could in the end of regulation to get the JackJumpers back in this one. And then the Jackies just said, fair enough, we'll give you another crack at it.
And look at the momentum changes. You think about the end of regular time. Illawarra were walking off the court with their heads down. Now look at them coach.
Absolutely.
They're bouncing into their hub.
Absolutely.
The biggest problem is you're going to play this next 5 without
Doyle.
2 of your most significant players in Milton Doyle and also McVeigh. We found out quite some time ago.
Right now, if Illawarra want to get this game, swing that ball around and get it inside on either side.
Crawford, but only you either foul in that backcourt or you just say, hey, if you can make one from just over the centre line on the run, shake his hand as he walks off and we'll go to overtime. But just the slightest of touches. My God, Copes.
I don't know, Joey. Yeah, I'm going through all kinds of emotions here. Sweating. I got chill goosebumps. I just don't know what to say here.
We mentioned it earlier tonight. Melbourne won by a point over New Zealand. And across the ditch. And we've got another thriller. Here are some of the overtime highlights. Milton Doyle in particular. And that's a big factor for Tasmania going into this second period of overtime, that he's fouled out, as has Jack McVeigh.
Crazy.
It is, and some big plays by coming up. And also some, here's the one. Coach, from that angle, I didn't see a whole lot of contact, but you seem to think that it was there.
Man, the referee's done it right there, bro.
I hear, but...
Maybe.
Yeah. Oh, well. perhaps now the advantage with Doyle out, McVeigh out, that you probably just feel...
Does it swing things Illawarra's way slightly?
Marginally.
And here we go again. 5 extra minutes, anyone? Joe Healy.
Seriously, guys, no one knows what is going on in this building right now. It is absolutely wild. A really intense huddle there for the Hawks. JT not happy at all, actually, and won't be after that either. He said, we let them back into this, so it's on us to fix it. Let's stay together.
What a play from Magnay first up. Big block, and then at the other end, and one.
Huge block. It was a beautiful entry pass down low. And Froling just rushed it a little. Could have gone to the other side, used the rim to protect it. And straight away down the other end. See, this is just a beautiful pass. See how he goes in front now? If he just goes to the side, he gets a little bit more protection from the rim. And down the other end, McVeigh. Oh my. I can guarantee you he did not call bank.
Banks aren't open that late in Tasmania. Or anywhere else for that matter.
They are at the Mott State Bank Arena, so why not?
The early stages of the second period of overtime. And Clark with the mismatch, but Magnay protecting the rim. And he's whistled up. And that will be 5 for Will Magnay.
Whoa. Jeez.
So no Doyle, no McVeigh, and no Magnay.
Tell you what.
Now, does he have a challenge available? Have a look here. Because he just held his ground. I didn't see him coming forward. If he has a challenge, then, gee, I would have thought about using it on that one.
Big minutes for Marcus Lee now. And free throws are haunting the Hawks, the back end of this game. Clark makes one of 2. A minute gone. These two on tired legs. It's been a tough grind. Late clock. Crawford dances through. Drimmick got it away. Still back to the advantage of the Hawks.
Wide open shot for Drimmick. Good extra pass by Crawford.
Robinson will try and look to tie it up or take the lead. First to Clark, and he's short.
Legs are tired. 2 overtimes. Jump shots are short.
Nerves kick in.
He's got a lot of guys, Illawarra, who have logged big minutes. Jung Lee takes care of it. Harvey in transition. It's knocked back out. And Crawford goes and retrieves it, but steps out of bounds.
Get to the rim, Harvey.
Yeah.
He was right there.
It's almost like he has to see how far out he can shoot the ball.
No, it's in transition. He's wide open, but it looked like he had a
wide open layup
lane to the basket.
Come on, man.
There's so many twists and turns left in this one. Crazy night at My State Bank Arena. Throwing muscles in on Marcus Lee.
That's only 2 on Marcus Lee. He's been sitting for a long time.
I should have bring that momentum back in My State Bank Arena. Get those numbers together. Let's make it good. Up in this arena.
Another big night at the office for Sam Froling. 22 points on 9 of 16. And you can't add to that.
They've left some points on that line, haven't they?
My word, they have.
Won the difference. Tasmania doing it down the stretch without 3 of their very best. This would be some sort of win. Ball movement. Back out for Krislovic.
Marcus Lee had a turnaround dunk.
And I reckon that's also a product of Marcus Lee knowing he's not a very good free throw shooter. Doesn't want to have to go to the line, so he diverts out to an average three-point shooter in Krislovic. Scott Roth doing his best to encourage the official and give them some advice, and they took his advice.
100% they did.
I have his body, hands out.
2 minutes 17 left. Who are you with right now, Copes? If I had to put you on the spot, which I just have.
Jack, I just don't know, Jack. I'm confused. I'm dazed. I'm seeing things. Stars, Jack.
Crawford with an important bucket for the JackJumpers, taking the responsibility on late. Robinson left open. Got it!
Breakdown.
Ties it up at 104.
No way you should be that open when you're 3 points up in double OT. Just a miscommunication. And Robinson picks up the foul.
Push on the floor. Yes, Summer.
Here we have a look at it, trying to fight over the top.
Oh,
Just Marcus Lee was so close. We've seen that situation called the other way so many times where it's a moving screen.
Hand off from Lee for McDonald. He's on the move. Midfield did enough to put a pressure on that layup. Clark wanted it in on the low block. They go more direct to Froling. Lee puts it into the stands.
so there's no sir.
Good timing. Here he is, comes across and protects the rim.
Shot clock at 7. Robinson from the same spot. Can't have the same result.
It was a lot more contested than the last one.
We remain deadlocked in double OT. A minute left. Crawford rattles in and out. Drimic crashes the offensive glass and the JackJumpers reset.
Crawford getting to that mid-range is, I think, would be the preferred option.
He's trying to get busy on Harvey and eventually draws the foul.
Gee.
This one.
It's a tough one now for the Jackies because a couple of their go-to guys in McVeigh and Doyle and Crawford, he's throughout the course of his career has been would be accustomed to being asked to provide scores in these situations.
And it's 5 on Gary Clark too.
Well, that's important because he's been solid. Even if he's not scoring, he's causing.
He's rebounding as well.
He's rebounding, and when he gets it down low, they have to hedge and sometimes go to their double teams.
Crawford holds his nerve and makes both, and Gary Clark's night's over. 25 points, 15 rebounds, and a couple of assists. And he won't be there to see it through. Harvey, Lee, Robinson, Froling, Blanchfield. On the floor for the Hawks, Crawford, Drimmick, McDonald, Lee and Steindl for Tasmania. Harvey! Tyler Harvey!
This is insane. Tough shot by Harvey to give him the lead.
Another turnover. Another twist in this game. Robinson beats the trap and he's on the move. A late foul.
Wow. Free throws?
Scott Roth, when he's talking about you've got to stay at the level, threw in an adjective there, but he's talking about on that Harvey being at the level on that on-ball screen that Harvey was able to make the three and give the Hawks the lead.
What are we up to, like chapter 38 in this story? Robinson with a miss.
Tell you what. I don't know if I can take this. I don't know if I'm built for this.
This is fun, Copes.
Huh?
It's fun, a lot of tension. And for a game that was a real grind for 85, 90% of it, turning into one of the games of the season.
Well, I'll tell you what. Somebody better get it done.
2-point lead of the Hawks. Joe Healy courtside.
Yeah, Copes, you were saying that you're sweating there on the call. People down here courtside do not know what's going on. The crowd right now, half of them are watching this game through their fingers with their heads in their hands.
I bet. Oh, my God. Can you imagine Tasmania if they get this win tonight?
What a night this has been. We go all the way back to the start. We mentioned the New Zealand and Melbourne game earlier. 1 point the difference in that. We are now in double overtime at MyState Bank Arena in Tasmania. Still got 17 seconds left. Anything could happen.
An eternity, Jack. Guys are earning their money tonight, aren't they?
My word, they are. And whoever comes up short in this one is going to look back at moments where
so many mistakes, so many
they could have easily have won.
Tasmania down 2. 15 seconds. Todd Blanchfield whistled for a foul.
Well,
that's not a bad foul.
It's not a terrible foul
Not
because it's going to put a poor free throw shooter on the free throw line in Marcus Lee. Here it is here, Todd Blanchfield. Well, they're grabbing each other.
Oh.
That could have gone either way, that one.
You just let it go.
Marcus Lee, as we've spoken about, a 53% free throw shooter.
Nothing but the bottom of the net.
net.
Just listen to the sound.
That was delightful. He misses the second. It's knocked out of bounds, though, by Hwan Jung Lee.
They can't come up with the boards on the free throw.
Man, let me tell you something. I can't take it. I can't take it.
This is... I mean, things that you'd think are pretty fundamental and standard, not being able to execute in crunch time.
13 seconds left in double overtime. JackJumpers looking for the lead.
And they're in the bonus too, so... They put Todd Blanchfield on Crawford just to try and protect the inbounds, but oh no, they make the change because a quick pass back to him, asking Todd to keep him in front of him.
Not gonna happen.
It's
not
would
gonna
require
happen.
some help.
They're looking for a bucket without Doyle, without McVeigh, and without Magnate. The absence creates opportunity. Crawford, all sorts of space. can't score. And it was last touch by Marcus Lee.
Crawford just flying with a deep three. They were trying to run an elevator play on the weak side where he was Steindl coming off. Firstly, that's probably a foul on Lee.
Body's flying. Yep, Marcus.
Marcus Lee has hit that one straight out of bounds.
Body's flying everywhere.
Gee, Lee might have got away with a hook right there.
Might be a hold as well.
And Lee hits it. Not sure that was the best option from Crawford. 4 of 11 from the three-point line.
Julie, who do you go to? Who do you put the ball? Who has the ball now?
Well, right now, it's the Hawk. I assume it's going to be the Hawk.
No, but I mean, Harvey, I got to give it to...
You do. Lee hit straight out. Well, from that angle there, it looks like Lee has just hit that out. You see Lee complaining that perhaps Drimmick should have been awarded a foul.
Put that ball.
Illawarra ball. You're right. You need to get this in the hands of Harvey because they're going to foul. The Jackies have to foul. And they need to foul quick. So you should be trying to do whatever it takes to keep it out. Make someone else catch it, anyone than Harvey.
They inbound to Lee. It's not a bad result for Hawks fans, an 86% free throw shooter.
Well, you say that, but he 1 of 3 on his last 3.3 efforts at the free throw line.
And let me tell you something. He would be thinking about that right now.
He's 3 of 5 on the game, but across the season, incredibly reliable free throw shooter. But it's 6 seconds, even if he makes both. Even if he makes
Don't say
both,
it, Julie. Don't say it. Don't say it.
there's enough time. It's almost the flip of what we saw at the end of the first overtime. But now, it's the Jackies' turn.
Oh, Lord.
Goodness. Goodness me. The twists and turns of this game. Oh, Lee misses both. Loose ball, last touch, Peatling. 5.2 seconds left for Tasmania.
Now, they have a play, although they don't have any timeouts, this is something that teams rehearse quite regularly at practice. So they'll have a set that they normally want to go to. They've got Crawford inbounding it. But I wouldn't be surprised if the action here would have the ball coming straight back to Crawford after his inbounding.
Wanjung Lee leaves both free throws out there.
Is that four misses in the last 5 shots?
Shit.
I thought Harvey should have went and got that ball anyway, though.
Both these teams have had the game
won. And lost.
And won.
And lost again.
And won again.
Just when you thought you had it all figured out.
Yes.
Oh, me, oh, my.
This is it for Tasmania.
Go.
Drimmick inbound, he must go. Has to get the shot away, does! It falls short. And the Illawarra Hawks ride the roller coaster all the way to the end. On a drama-filled night, the Hawks make it 7 of their last 9. And the Justin Tatum experience rolls on.
One of the most exciting games of the year, Jack. Wow. I feel like I played, Julie. I feel like I played in this game.
It is. And some of the moments, as we was been saying, that both these teams will go back and review it and think, if only. A number of times in the game, there's going to be some if-onlys. But the Foot Locker player of the game, Gary Clark, 25 points, 15 rebounds, and a couple of assists to go along with it. And what a result for the Illawarra Hawks.
What a night. The Hawks had the game on ice in the fourth quarter. Tasmania hit back early in the first period of overtime, Copes. It looked like Tasmania were going to run away with it. Illawarra settled, and they held their nerve late, and look at what that win does for the Hawks.
Puts them in fourth place, Jack. Can you believe it? 6 weeks ago, this team was in 10th place, Drew.
Yep.
They've moved up that ladder, and let me tell you something. There's some people below and people above that are afraid to play this team because they're red hot.
Well, they should be. And they're carrying momentum, they're carrying emotion.
Belief is what they're carrying.
And let's be honest, they're carrying some good fortune.
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. But you need good fortune to get, you always need luck to get wins.
And sometimes you make your own luck.
That's right. That's exactly right. They didn't give up. Had this game, gave it away, went back and took it back. So
they're going to have to butter up because they've got Brisbane on Sunday. And the JackJumpers, we'll talk about them very shortly. Let's get down to Joe Healy. This has been madness.
It absolutely has been madness. I've got Dustin Robinson with me. JR, what was that? You guys made it tough, but you got the dub. How satisfying is that win?
It's great on the road in this atmosphere. It was loud in here. We made it a little harder on ourselves than we should have, but I mean, we battled adversity and won. So, I mean, we're growing, we keep going every day, and we're just taking it day by day.
If someone had told you back in November that you're on a 4-game winning streak and you're up to 4th on the ladder, would you have believed them?
I don't know if I wouldn't not believe them, but I know we had the pieces the whole time. It was just about putting it together, and a big testament to the group and staying resilient through everything.
What does this win say about the group and the character?
We're growing by day. I think we're getting better and better, and I think it shows in the game. I mean, like I said, we made it hard on ourselves, but, I mean, we pulled one out.
Congratulations. Enjoy it.
Thank you. Thank you.
We are going to come back and try and make sense of what we have just witnessed. What a night in the Hungry Jacks NBL. Illawarra win in double overtime, 108 to 107. Don't go too far. We're back next.